Hey, how's it going, everybody? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the differences between FanDuel and DFS, and specifically answer the question of why a good player prop bet on FanDuel does not necessarily make it a good bet on a DFS platform like Underdog Fantasy or PrizePicks. The strategy between the two platforms are very, very different. Now, obviously, I'll go into a ton of detail about everything, but right off the bat, the kind of blanket statement about why a good bet on FanDuel doesn't mean it's a good bet on PrizePicks is because of the difference in strategy. And when you're looking for a profitable bet on FanDuel, you're looking for the best value that's on FanDuel across the market. So let's pretend that you can get a player prop bet on FanDuel at plus 200. Inherently, plus 200 means you're doubling your money. That's like a 33% win percentage. Well, if every other sportsbook prices that at like plus 150, that plus 200 could be a really profitable bet. But that's not me saying that would be a good play to add on PrizePicks, because the odds and the payout situation is totally different. So when you're placing a bet on FanDuel, you're looking for value across the markets. When you're placing a player prop play on PrizePicks or Underdog, you're not looking for value across the markets. You're literally looking for player props that are likely to hit, which I know sounds obvious, Captain Obvious, and really stupid, but that's literally the difference between the two. When you're betting on FanDuel and DraftKings, you're not looking for plays that are likely to hit. You're looking for good value. When you're betting on PrizePicks, you are looking for plays that are likely to hit. Now, obviously, I'll go into more detail about all of that, but that's kind of the blanket statement about why the strategy is different and why one play on one platform, one good play on one platform, doesn't mean it's a good play on another. And what I will say, if you're watching this video and you're unsure of positive expected value betting, or you're unsure of PrizePicks strategy, I definitely recommend checking out the OddsJam YouTube channel. I have a video about what is positive expected value betting and why it's so valuable. And I also have a video talking to you about how you can actually make money on PrizePicks. So like I said, the strategy is entirely different. And I'll get into that right now by sharing my screen. So first, I'm going to talk to you about a regular bet, a player prop bet on this one's actually on DraftKings, but the same concept applies. Doesn't matter what sportsbook it's on. So the play is Joe Harris over 2.5 made three-pointers. The odds of the bet are at plus 175 odds. So right off the bat, plus 175. That means you are risking $100 to profit $175. Another way to think of it is every $1 risked, you would profit $1.75. That's kind of what the plus money odds mean. So right off the bat, that's a really high payout for one play, right? Like if you want to look at the percent chance in kind of what plus 175 equates to, you just need to go to calculators, go to odds converter calculator, type in plus 175. So plus 175 has a win percentage of roughly 36%. So the play itself is not that likely to hit. So, I mean, that's another question that I get. And that's also a question that I've answered in a previous video, is why would you place a bet for plus money if it means that bet is not likely to hit? And as I mentioned, it's all about the value associated with it. So if that bet is likely to hit at a higher rate than what the implied odds are giving you, well, that would make it a profitable bet. And what I mean by that is, so OddsJam calculates basically the true line of what a market should be priced at, right? There's a ton of formulas and calculations that go into it, which I detail in that previous video talking to you about positive expected value betting. But all you really need to know, as I said, is that OddsJam calculates what the perfect line of a market should be. And that's exactly what you see in these column here, right? So for this Joe Harris one, it's priced at plus 168. The DraftKings line is at plus 175. So that's kind of exactly what I mean. The true line of this should really be priced 7 cents lower at plus 168, but DraftKings is giving it to us all the way up at plus 175. That's really good value. And if you click this calculator here, it pulls up the win percentage associated with this bet, basically saying, okay, If plus 175 equates to a 36.36% win percentage, then what does the plus 168 dictate? And that is 37.27. So if you kind of think about it, we're betting on a play that only needs to hit roughly 36% of the time in order to break even. If it hits at exactly 36.36, we will break even. If it hits more than this at a higher rate than this percent, then we are profiting. And we know, based on the OddsJam perfect line in the sharp betting tool, that this actually will hit at a 37.27% rate, higher than the 36.36. So if you're stacking together positive expected value bets for plus money, you might not win the majority of your bets, but you don't need to. If you won 40% of your bets, 40%, you're losing 6 out of 10. At these odds, you will be the best sports bettor in the history of the universe. You will be a legendary sports bettor, and you're only hitting 40% of your bets. It's all about the payout. That's the most important thing. It's about the payout. This Joe Harris one has a really high payout, so it's worth betting on DraftKings because of the payout. Same thing with this Clint Capella one. The odds are plus 170 that we're betting, but the OddsJam perfect line has this at plus 161. There's like a 9.5 cent gap between these two numbers, which is why this is a profitable bet. So keep that in mind. It's all about the payout. Now, let's think about PrizePicks and how the payouts work there. So for those of you watching this, I'm pretty sure that you know how PrizePicks works. It's basically like a player prop parlay. So you choose multiple player props. You choose like, okay, I think Embiid and Franz Wagner are both going to go over their point total. The more plays you add, the higher this payout is. Obviously, the higher the risk. But, and this is the biggest difference with PrizePicks compared to sports betting. The payout with PrizePicks is the exact same no matter what plays you add. So I mentioned the payout for sports betting is really important. It's the same thing with PrizePicks, with the key difference being the payout's the exact same. So right now I have Joel Embiid and Franz Wagner to go over their point total. I'm going to change this to Gary Harris and James Harden. And guess what? The payout's the exact same. It's still a 3x payout. So when you are placing player props with PrizePicks and with Underdog, it doesn't matter what plays you add individually. The payout is going to be the exact same. So there really is no finding value across the markets because the payout's the same. So instead, when you're sports betting, you're looking for value, right? DraftKings had this play at plus 175. Look at every other sports book. Plus 149, plus 151. This plus 175 is a clear outlier, a really, really good bet, as I talked about. But that play is not likely to hit. If PrizePicks was offering Joe Harris's over-under point total at 2.5, I would not tell you to add that to your PrizePicks entry. Why? Because the payout is the exact same no matter what. You're not getting any value by adding this play that is unlikely to hit, right? So instead, what you want to do, you want to find plays that are likely to hit. So if I change the positive EV page to filter specifically for PrizePicks, you can see if I pull up a play, look, so it's telling me the play is Jeremy Sochan over 2.5 assists. This is the OddsJam is telling me that this is a good play on PrizePicks. Okay, PrizePicks, we're having the same payout for every single play no matter what. So let's ignore PrizePicks for now. Look at every sportsbook where they price it and how likely they have it to occur. Pinnacle, generally regarded as the sharpest sportsbook in the world, they price this all the way at minus 141. So if you think about the payout for that, you would have to risk $141 to profit $100. That's a pretty steep price. Look at BetOnline, another sharp sportsbook. They price it at minus 137. Look at every other book. I mean, FanDuel has it all the way at minus 154. If you wanted to bet this on FanDuel, you'd have to risk $154 to profit $100. That is a very, very high risk for not as good of a reward. Those odds are not that rewarding. Now with PrizePicks, you're not paying any extra juice, despite the fact that every single sportsbook is telling you that this bet is likely to hit. It's likely to hit at over a 55% rate. We are not paying any extra juice, any extra pricing on that, any extra risk by using PrizePicks. So when you're sports betting, you're looking for value. When you're doing PrizePicks, you're looking for plays that are likely to hit. And that's what I meant when I said at the beginning. It's the same thing. Here's another good one. Domantas Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds. PrizePicks doesn't have any additional charge for this play. Pinnacle, -142. BetOnline, -135. Caesars has this all the way up at -160. So the sportsbooks are charging extra juice for this. The sportsbooks are telling you, hey, this play is really likely to hit. But because we're using PrizePicks for this, we're not paying any extra juice. So that's kind of what I mean when I say that just because a bet is good on FanDuel or DraftKings or whatever does not make it a good player prop to add to your PrizePicks entry. So I get that question a ton. Every day I do a video talking about my favorite NBA player props, and a lot of questions I get are, oh, perfect, should I add these to PrizePicks? And maybe, I mean, the answer maybe, it could be, but it's not 100% of the case. I can't say with full confidence that just because it's a good play that I recommend betting does not mean that it is something that you should put on PrizePicks. And that's exactly why. When you're sports betting, you're looking for value on an individual sportsbook across the betting landscape. One sportsbook has an outlier mispriced line. That would be a profitable bet to make. With PrizePicks, because there are no outliers, no mispriced lines, you're just looking for the data to tell you how likely a player prop is to hit. So that's all I got. Hopefully this video made sense to you guys. If you have any questions, please comment and let me know. You can also email contact@oddsjam.com with any questions. Other than that, the video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, would appreciate it if you could like the video. But that is all I got. So appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.